Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm sharing all that you need to know to apply for Mandela Washington Fellowship Program. This is a flagship program of the Young African Leadership Initiative, which was started in 2014 by Barack Obama. I'm going to take you to the application form and I'm going to guide you through the processes of applying for this opportunity. This is so important, and this is so valuable. Free visa is going to be given to you. You're not going to pay for a flight ticket or anything. You're not going to spend a dime on this process. So why not take the initiative to do this application, to give yourself the opportunity to have a free visa and a learning opportunity, and also an opportunity to have an internship in a US company where you get to learn a lot. If you are a young leader from Sub-Saharan Africa, then I tell you this opportunity is for you. This is a follow-up on a video that I've done, which I've linked up here. If you haven't watched that, please watch that. In that video, I've explained what the opportunity is all about, eligibility criteria, requirements, and everything else you need to know in order to apply. In this video, I'm going to take you through how to navigate the application form, because it's an online form that you need to fill, answer 80 questions, letter of recommendations, references, and resume that would help speak for you. So without wasting time at all, I would like us to go into the application form. Before I continue today's video, I want to first of all welcome all of you, my new subscribers. Thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you for staying. If this is your first time seeing me, my name is Rita Sian. I am an educator, a public speaker, and the author of You're Unstoppable. I'm also the founder of Feminine Star Africa. Do not hesitate to subscribe if you are new here. Share this video so that someone out there who needs this opportunity could also benefit from it. If you find value in this video, I would really appreciate you leaving a nice comment down there for me, liking this video, because it helps the algorithm to recommend my videos. So most importantly, I love hearing from all of you, my subscribers. So why not leave a nice comment down there? Let's get chatting. If you have any question, do not hesitate to leave it down there as well. Let's get into the application form and see what we can learn from there. Okay, so here we are with the application form. To find the application form, you have to go to Mandela Washington Fellowship or YALI, or just type into any search engine Mandela Washington Fellowship application form, and this would come up. Once this comes up, I'm just going to go through for you to see what it is. It tells you details about it. Eligibility is there, as you can see, selection criteria, all the details is there, and I've actually done a video on this already. So if you haven't seen it, I'm linking it up there. Make sure you click and watch that. So when you scroll through right to the bottom, you see everything from past experiences, past fellows who have been there, some of their feedback, some of their messages are up there for you to see. You see at the end of at the bottom, they tell you to go back. So when you go up there, I'm going to click on the fellowship portal, and at the fellowship portal I click on learn more. There you have to scroll down to find the application link, which is apply now. As you can see, when I click on apply now, it takes me now to 2025 Mandela Washington Fellowship application form. What you need to remember here is that if you are a new applicant, that's where it says new user registration. You have to click where it says click here to start new application. You click there to start new application. So when you click on sign in, it means you've already created an account and just logging in to your account. Now that I've clicked on create new account, it has taken me to this place where at the bottom you have to check that place. Make sure you tick for it to be highlighted. That is you giving them consent to use your personal data and in processing the application. So after that, the next thing you do is to create an account. For you to be able to create an account, you need to put in your email address there. Once you finish typing in your email address, click on send confirmation email, as I'm going to do right now. Good. So once you click on the send confirmation email, you have to go back to your email address to find the confirmation link. that was sent to you. And that is where you are now able to start the whole application process. Remember, the link sent to you expires within 60 minutes, which is just 1 hour. So if you do not follow through in your email to click on the confirmation email and then continue from there, it will expire, which means you have to start this process again. So I'm now going to click on this link to continue and create my account on the platform. So once you click on the link, it will take you directly to create your account. Your email address is already typed in, so it's been accepted. So the next step is to put in your password and confirm your password. Once you have done this, you have to go ahead and then select a few things that are listed below. One, if you want to receive newsletters or information about Yali Network, you can just click that to receive newsletters from them. The next thing is for you to click to certify that you are going to do the application all by yourself without any assistance, as in someone doing this for you, okay? Then the next one is that you give IREX, which is US Department, the right to verify the information that you're providing them for the application. And then the last one is for you to tell them that you understand that giving false information is a crime. So you tick all these three. If you want to receive newsletters, make sure you tick the Yali one, but I left it because I don't need that and I just want to go on. So then you click on create account. Once you click on create account, you can save so that when you click on that link, it will take you straight into your account and you don't have to log in again. But if you feel you're not applying this on a safe laptop, if it's not your personal laptop, I will not advise you to do that. So now these are all the lists you're going to be filling. So I'm just showing you. But first thing you need to do first is eligibility. For you to check for eligibility, they have a couple of questions here. The first one is your citizenship. Then they ask whether you have another country of citizenship. And then they ask for your country of residence. And they go ahead and ask for your date of birth, just basic details about you. To be sure that you actually qualify per the age, you should be between the ages of 25 to 35. So when you put your date of birth there, it helps them to know that, oh yes, this person is qualified for it, or you are not qualified for the application process. And as you can see in the notes below, if your country of residence is not in the list that pops up when you click on your country, then it means that you are not eligible for the fellowship. So you now select your country of residence and also date of birth, as I mentioned. And then you are also asked whether you are a US citizen or you are a permanent resident in the US. The next question is about whether any of your family or relative is employed by the US government, probably maybe working in an embassy or something of that sort. So once that is not there, you can select no if you are not. And the last one is, have you previously participated in Mandela Washington Fellowship? I am saying no just because I want to be able to fill this form for you to see the process, okay? If you have been, I'm not sure you can qualify to do it again. Okay, so I have been, but I'm just saying no because I am not qualified to apply again. Remember, the question is asking about participation, which I've done already, okay? But you are new at this. Even if you have applied before, you haven't participated, so you can still apply. So you now go on and click on save and continue to the next section, and then it will take you to the next section, which is the general information. This part is just looking for your general information. You have to go ahead and put your name there, first name, and then middle name and family name or surname. Then you put your date of birth over there. The next thing is to put your biological sex as it appears on your passport. Next is to let them know whether you are able to attend an in-person interview, because that is very important. You have to. Then the next is in-person pre-fellowship activities that would be organized. You have to be able to attend that as well. You have to tick whether you are able to attend. Then city of birth, country of birth. Then what type of location is the place? Is it a small place? Is it a big city? Next is, do you live in the same town where you work? Some people commute to smaller villages to work. So if you are such, just say no. If you live in the same town where you work, you say yes. And the next is, what location type best describes where you work? So you have to indicate whether it is rural, it is a city, or it's a village. And did you grow up in the national capital city? If you've grown up in Accra or a bigger city in your home country, you say yes. If not, say no. The next says, what location type best describes where you grew up? You also describe and show them. Then the next is to fill in your details about your passport. At this point, your passport number is not needed, but whether you have one or not is what they're asking for, and also your passport expiring date if you have one. This simply means that if you don't have a passport at this juncture, it's not a problem, but you must have one by next year, June, else you are not able to take this trip. So you then click on save and continue, and then it takes you to the next section. This section is going to create your CV or resume for you. So they're going to ask you questions that would help you gather information just as it is on your resume. So what I would advise is that you should have your resume with you before you fill this part. Now, the first thing you are going to be filling out is your, first of all, they ask whether you have had any professional experience. If you have, you tick yes, and then you give them details about the organization you've worked with, your professional title. Is this an agency of the US government? You click no, because it's not for sure. Unless it is, then you select yes, and then your professional title. Then you move on to the city and country, and then you put in how you work. Is it in person, is it remote, or is it hybrid? Both in person and then remote work. Then your start dates and end dates, or if you're still working there, you can just select till date, or a year that you've ended your work with them. Then you write a detailed description of the role you played in that job. This particular part is very important because it gives them details about what you have done, but make sure that you do not include information that are not necessary. The role that you've played, responsibilities that you've held, the word count there is 100 words. So you want to just put in just what is very, very relevant and very important. Roles you've played, responsibilities held. That is what's very important and needed here at this juncture. Once that is done, click save and continue. Now, I did this so I can show you some of the errors you may be facing. When I click save and continue, you can see it says, sorry, there was a problem saving this information or your information. And it's highlighted where it showed me country is required, meaning that I forgot to select the country. So I have to go back now and select the country which I'm applying from, which is Ghana. So I've selected Ghana there. And so I'll go back again to check and see if that is rectified. And if it is rectified, it should be able to allow me to move on to the next. Now it is corrected. As you can see, the next on the CV is education. But before I talked about education, quickly, you need to remember that when filling in your career aspect, work experience, remember that the companies you've worked with, all of them, you have to list them there. So there is a portion at the bottom that says add experience or add work experience. Click on that to add more. So if you've worked in maybe 3 or 10 companies, make sure each of the companies are stated from the most recent. In filling out the schools, you need to fill the name of the school, the city, the country, the date you started, date you completed, expected graduation date in case you are still in school, and then your course or program, how it was delivered. Is it online, is it in person, or is it hybrid? The degree you've got, is it a master's, is it a bachelor's degree? Which field of work is it, or which field of study is it? As you can see, these have been made quite easy, but they are very mandatory. Everywhere you see a red dot beside the what is requested for, make sure you fill them out, because if you don't fill them out, you cannot skip it to go and do something else. Once you're finished, you can now click add another educational experience in order to add another degree that you may have. Okay, just as I explained with the career or the job. The same applies to the school as well, or education. The next thing is to click on save and continue, and then it takes you to the next thing, which is, I think, other professional training or certifications. So this is simply if you have done any CPD or professional development experience, if you've done any professional training, in-service trainings in your work, that's where you put it. So you fill in those details as well, where, which program it was, which, from what date to what date, what type of certificate, or the name of the certificate that you were giving, and then 100-word description of what that training was. And also at the end of this, you still add the another. Okay, if maybe this is wrong, you want to remove it, you can also click remove to remove that. The same way you can add another professional training experience. Okay, just to give you an example of what I mean by professional development experience, if you are a teacher, you need to give experience, something like a curriculum development training or in-service training that is organized in your school for you as a teacher to help you develop your career. Okay, now community and volunteer work. If you've done any community and volunteer work, this is the place to fill these details. The organization you've worked with, the city, country, is it in person, is it online, is it a hybrid, both of them. The date you started and the date you finished should be written there. If you still currently volunteer there, you just click on that, I currently volunteer here. Now remember, you can add as many as you've done. Any place you've volunteered, you should just add them all. The more the better, but make sure that they are very important and relevant and they are tangible. Okay, the next part is talking about awards, honors, fellowship, grants, scholarships. So if you have been successful in applying for any grants, any scholarships that you've attained before, all these things should be put here. Title of honor or award should be there, and then as usual, the organization that gave that award, the date the award was given, and a description of what the award meant. What was the award about? What did you receive? What does that award entail? The next thing is professional skills. The first is languages. If you speak 4 or 5 languages, go there, add the language, just type the language in there. Bear in mind, this is not limited to international languages only. It is also including your local dialects that you speak. And I speak like 4 languages including English, so 3 local dialects and English. So I've typed all of them, I added all of them, making 4. So whatever you speak, Swahili, any other languages you speak, make sure you add them on there. By clicking on add another language, you are able to add it. Once you finish with that, scroll to the bottom and you'll find computer and software proficiency and fill it in there as well. Any skills you have in IT, as it says there, fill in computer and software skills, for example, MS Office, web development, Canva, anything you know in IT, just add it in there. Once you click save and continue, it takes you to publications, conferences, notable presentations. So any notable presentations you've given at very prestigious places or any form of academic writing you've done, make sure you write it in there. And if you have published a book, why not put it there as well? All these are part of the publications, conferences, and notable presentations. So put in all those details and then you click save and continue. If you haven't done any of those, you can just click I haven't done any of those as well. The next is associations and affiliations. So if you belong to any affiliations or any groups, for instance, by the work you do, if you are like a chartered accountant and you are in the group of chartered accountants, state that there. If you are a teacher, for instance, in Ghana, we have NAGRAT, states that there. These are associations that you are affiliated to. Okay, state them there. Any affiliations you have with any organizations based on the job you do or anything, state it there. The next thing is demographic. This demographic is basically just wanting to know more information about you, whether you have any disabilities or whether you are LGBTQ. You have to state all these things in here. This is where you indicate whether you have any physical, visual or hearing impairment or anything that would limit you, for which they need to make provision for. This is because you're going to be staying in universities and they have to accommodate you in a place that is friendly to physical disability or any form of disability. And if you're LGBTQ as well, they need to know how to house you and all those details. So this is the importance of this particular part of it, where they want to know you just a little bit more in order to help them know how to house you, where to put you when you are successful. Now they have a couple of questions here. Do any of the following apply to you? These you have to read them and then answer them. This is very interesting, right? They just want to know your financial status and background as well, whether you are first generation or not, or they just want to know a little bit more about you. Then contact details. Contact details, your primary phone number should be there, your work phone number, and then your mobile phone number. These are the contact details you provide. And then apart from the email address you've given, you are also at liberty to add additional email address that they can contact you on. Guys, this is by far the longest video that I've ever done in my whole life, so bear with me, just because I want to take you through all the process so you do not miss anything, so you know exactly what you're doing. If this is your very first time applying for Mandela Washington Fellowship or filling an online form of this nature. Before I go on, I want to encourage you to please subscribe to my channel. Do not hesitate to turn on the notification bell as well, so that anytime a new video is up, you will receive an alert from me. So as I mentioned, your alternative email can be put there, and from here we will go to the next. Current address and where you are residing currently. So you put your house number there, your city, your country, and your region or province, and then the zip code you put there as well. Then permanent address, you indicate whether the same address you've given is exactly where you stay. This section is current professional and educational experience. They just want you to confirm the information you have given them earlier. Just confirm it. So they're asking for your current, so they're asking for your highest education and then your professional experience. Your highest education, if it is a master's, select that. If it is bachelor's, select that. Next, you need to confirm which sector or field your profession is in. I selected education because I'm still teaching. And if you are in transport, religion, public health, advocacy, you have to just select what you are currently working in. Then they're asking you, are you currently or were you ever elected or appointed public or government office? No. If you haven't, just click no. If you've been appointed to work in the government as a government official, you select yes. If you haven't, you know what to do. Then please indicate if any of the following applies to you. Okay, they also ask of how many years you've worked, just asking for a little bit more details. than you provided earlier. So just a little bit more detail. But remember, this is about your current career. And then they're asking whether your job is a full-time job. They also ask whether you'll be working outside of your country of work anytime soon. They also asked for primary location of your current work, what best describes your current work title, and what organization type do you work for? Is it a non-profit? Is it a government institution? Or what is it? So read all those details. You just need to say yes or no, yes or no. And some of them you have to select one. Okay, so that is it with this one as well. Once you are done with that, you can just click save and continue. All right, after that is yearly engagement. So they've asked a couple of questions here. How did you learn about the Mandela Washington Fellowship Program? So you have to just indicate where you heard about it from, if it is the US Embassy or Facebook or a staff member or IREX TV, radio, anywhere you heard about it, just select it. The next question is, have you ever applied for Mandela Washington Fellowship Program in the past? Be honest and say yes if you have. All right, it will not change anything. It's just that it gets them to know that yes, this person has applied before, or people are applying. This is your second time. So if yes, click yes. If no, click no. Next is, have you ever participated in the yearly regional leadership center programs? If you've participated in any of those, say yes. If not, just say no. And then you move on to the next question, which is, have you previously participated in other yearly programs through yearly network, as in yearly online? If you've participated in any of the training programs, you can select the ones that you've participated in. If you haven't, just say no and then click and continue to the next. Next, they're asking you whether you have participated in any other US government sponsored programs. So you can see the list of US government programs mentioned there. If you have participated in any of them, say yes or click them. If you haven't participated in any of them, just say none. Okay, and just to let you know, a quick one, guys, this is for you to actually go back and look for all those programs to apply for. If I am you, that's what I'm going to do, because if they've listed those programs there, it means that they are in the system, they are in existence. So those are opportunities that you can actually take advantage of, guys. The next part is your English proficiency. So here you just basically indicate how fluent you are in the English language, in speaking, in writing, in everything that has to do with English language. Okay, presentation skills, everything. So if you are a novice, if you are absolute beginner, if you are intermediate, if you are advanced, if you are very advanced, just select them. As you scroll through them, you see each and every one of them. Just select the ones that applies to you. Let me just let you know that once you can speak and write and understand English and communicate, that is enough. You don't have to be very advanced. Advanced is good, medium is good, novice is not bad, but absolutely beginner and novice, I would definitely reconsider that. But anything advanced or intermediate should be fine, especially for people from countries where French is their basic language. That will be a little bit of a challenge. That's why intermediary and advanced should be fine. But if you say you are a novice or absolute beginner, then that's where I don't know how that would play out. But I just wish you the very best, guys. We are now moving on to the most important part, which is the essay questions. But before that, they have explained the leadership tracks here, the institutes here, the leadership in business, leadership in civic engagement, leadership in public engagement. So business has to do with people who are entrepreneurs, who run businesses or working for big businesses, and they want to go to the US to learn about entrepreneurship strategies in the US. And also probably if you have a component of social enterprise in whatever you do, you can select the business track. Now you can select leadership in civic engagement if you are doing anything about NGO management, running your own NGO, because with this you're going to be learning about NGO management in the US aside other things. Then the public management track, if you are working in any public office, for instance, you are working as maybe assemblyman or woman, or into politics, any area of politics, then you can do that as well. If you are working in any field as well, as in appointed into office, working in any area that has to do with leadership in political area, you can select that as well. Now this part is just talking about plagiarism and originality of your work. This is for you to agree that you're going to do the work on your own. You're not going to do any plagiarism. You're not going to copy. And this also touched on AI, using AI in writing your essays. Do not do that. Do not, because that is not allowed. And remember, AI is not always accurate. So if you try to use AI to generate a write-up, you're going to miss the point. Because the video for today is so long, I'm not going to be able to do the essay questions in this video. I'm going to do another video to explain the questions and how to answer them. And I'll do my very best to add that online as soon as possible, and so you can go through it and relate that to what you have written to be sure that you've done the right thing before you finally submit. But what I just want to explain briefly is the fact that there are essay questions you have to answer, and once you answer these essay questions, it will take you to the next page, which is professional development experience. The professional development experience also has other questions that you have to answer there as well, telling them why you want to do the professional development experience, what you hope to gain at that experience, which is an internship. And this internship, I will advise that you apply for it, because you never know, you could be that one person who would stay behind and do your internship in a US based company or non-profit organization, or work with a senator or someone. You never know. So I would encourage you to apply for that as well and see how far it will take you. But for now, I think I'll end this video here because it's getting too long. I want it to just be ended on 35 minutes. So I would say a very big thank you for following through to this point. Be looking out for the next video, which will be discussing purposely the essay questions to be answered and how to go about answering those questions. All right, guys, I have taken you through this application process. You've seen everything for yourself. You now know how to apply. If you are new here, please do not forget to subscribe to my channel. I really would appreciate that. Help my channel grow. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.